I'm Katie Couric. Tonight, summer travelers going nowhere fast. Passengers find themselves sitting in airports for hours, sometimes even days. Which airlines are most at fault? Record heat in the West while Texas braces for yet another deluge. How long will this extreme weather last? Plus, donors needed. The national effort to recruit bone marrow donors. How you can get on a list and save a life.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Hello, everyone. Well, getting there is definitely not half the fun these days. How bad is it? Just ask anyone who flies. By the government's own reporting, this is the worst it's been in 7 years. From January through May, 728,000 flights were delayed. That's 1 out of every 4 flights. And it's only going to get worse as the summer goes on. Here's our transportation correspondent, Nancy Cordes.
That paperwork will come over with one more crew member.
This flight from JFK to Dallas-Fort Worth last week was supposed to take 4 hours. It took 10.
Troubleshooting a possible problem.
To pass the time, this man recorded his ordeal for YouTube as mechanical problems and backed up runways and crew changes left passengers starving.
As far as the food, I've tried everything I could to get you some food.
And exhausted. The FAA predicted this would be the worst summer ever for flight delays. How's it going so far?
Terribly.
And that's the airline industry talking.
And the unfortunate thing is that today, they're not simply a function of weather. This is something we're seeing on days when the weather is perfectly fine.
In May, government numbers show more than 2 in 10 airplanes landed at least 15 minutes late. What the numbers don't show is the true delay to passengers when delayed flights force them to miss their connections.
Those people are delayed not by 30 minutes, but by however long it takes to reaccommodate them on another flight leg to their destination.
Cynthia Barnhart and a team of MIT researchers are working to determine just how long, on average, passengers who miss connections are waiting in a time when flights are fuller than ever. Just ask any stranded traveler. Some are posting their sagas online.
3 days, 2 airports, 1 mission, going home.
And some airports are worse than others, according to a website created by air traffic controllers. Roughly a third of all flights leaving congested hubs like Newark, Philadelphia, Dulles, Atlanta, Chicago, and JFK are delayed. It might be a better choice, they say, to connect through Salt Lake City, Minneapolis, or Cincinnati.
Avoid the connections, go direct when you can.
Who absolutely needs to be there tonight?
Miami's professional soccer team had to draw straws today to determine who got to leave San Francisco on time and who had to wait.
3 out of 4 flights that I go on are delayed somehow.
The industry blames an outdated, inefficient air traffic control system. Passengers don't know who to blame, but tempers are growing shorter as the weather gets hotter.
Of course, I apologize for all this. It's not been fun for anybody tonight. I'm very, very sorry.
This terminal at LaGuardia is nearly empty tonight. A raft of flights canceled because of bad weather. Experts say the best way to avoid summer delays is to travel early in the day, Katie, before those thunderstorms kick up.
All right, Nancy Cordes, some good advice tonight. Thanks, Nancy. Now to the weather. 2007 is a year of extremes. This map plots the country's rainfall since January. The blue and purple areas of Texas and the Plains have had twice the normal rainfall, up to 20 inches more than normal. But temperatures are running 2 to 6 degrees below average. Meanwhile, out west, those red and brown areas of Southern California and Nevada show they've had less than a quarter of their normal rainfall, and temperatures are up to 4 degrees warmer than average. All this severe weather is taking a toll, and as Sandra Hughes reports, everybody's talking about it.
Andy, good morning, everyone. Triple digits indeed are going to continue.
It is baking. Flash flood watch continues right on through tomorrow.
A trifecta of weird weather across the nation, from dangerously hot to incredibly dry, fueling wildfires out west, to a deluge of rain in the Midwest and Texas, causing massive flooding. On the Las Vegas Strip, gamblers sizzled under temperatures expected to tie a record at 116 degrees. Hospital emergency rooms report increased cases of heat exhaustion.
I fainted from the heat and I just wasn't drinking enough water.
KPHO TV Chief Meteorologist Sean McLaughlin forecasts another triple-digit day in Phoenix, 116 degrees, and explains the extremes across the country.
I'm in the camp that we think global warming is definitely affecting the global climate because we see the increase in the hurricane strike. We see the increase in flooding.
Phoenix is into its 12th year of below record rainfall. Like the rest of the Southwest and parts of the Southeast, it's in the middle of an extreme drought.
Speaking for us out here in the West, we're extremely nervous for the summer of 2007.
In Atlanta, it's the second driest year on record, with rainfall 13 inches below normal. In Huntsville, Alabama, rainfall is 11 inches below normal. In Los Angeles, where the city is on track to be the driest ever, rainfall is down almost a foot below normal. Today's challenge in Southern California, finding creative ways to stay cool and wet.
It's so hot down here, you have to find a place where there's some water.
In Dallas, they're looking for creative ways to stay dry. It's the 11th day in a row of rain, breaking an 85-year record. A low-pressure system that stalled over the west and north part of the state is to blame for flooding there. Back out west, predictions are for above-average temperatures over the next 2 weeks, with no rain in sight. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
I'm Hari Srinivasan in Dallas, where rains and rescues throughout the Midwest have kept weary firefighters on the front lines for weeks. Raging waters have submerged small towns and low roads from Texas to Kansas.
I tried to back up, but it grabbed my front of my car and pulled me in.
In Haltom City, Texas, this $16,000 Swiftwater rescue boat is paying for itself.
It's been probably used more in the last 2 months than all the last year or so combined.
This small department didn't budget for overtime and equipment costs for a season like this, and the repeated flooding is straining resources and rescuers.
As the days go by and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and when the people get tired, that's when injuries begin to go up. So you have to start watching people.
Firefighters in the West could get some relief this week as new storms move over the region, but the storms may also bring lightning that could set off a new round of fires. Already, California firefighters have been fighting blazes from Tahoe to Catalina and even in the hills above Hollywood. While there are 400 empty firefighter positions with the U.S. Forest Service in the region, the agency insists it is prepared.
We move folks in like we move equipment in to try to deal with that situation.
It appears firefighters will see fire and they'll see rain for some time to come. The forecast for California and Texas offer little relief for those on the front lines this season. Hari Srinivasan, CBS News, Dallas.
Too much rain in Mexico has caused a deadly mudslide there. In the southern state of Puebla, a waterlogged mountain gave way yesterday. Rocks and mud came down on a bus carrying at least 50 passengers. Tonight, rescue workers are still digging through the muck. So far, 26 bodies have been recovered. Extreme weather is not just on this side of the Atlantic. Europe is seeing it all. Wildfires in the French Riviera, buckets of rain at Wimbledon, and a dramatic rescue during a storm at sea. Richard Roth has more.
Off Ireland's coast, it was a sudden squall today that put 100 school children at risk, capsizing a junior regatta, a wind that came out of nowhere.
Bang, went straight up, wind nearly doubled in speed.
They're safe tonight if cold and wet, but like much of Europe, they're startled by the summer weather. There's no rain in Spain. This is fire season. Up the Mediterranean coast on the French Riviera, they call it the time of red nights. But in Eastern Europe, there's no word for weather like this except awful, drenching rainstorms in Budapest, and in Prague, hailstones by the handful. It's put a damper on tourism in parts of Germany and threatened the timber industry in parts of Norway, where floodwaters could sweep away stocks of lumber. But in Britain, it's been even worse. 10 days ago, when a month's worth of rain fell in 24 hours, Mike Barnett died with his foot stuck in a drain, surrounded by firemen who couldn't pull him free. The floods in England have taken 7 lives. Insurers say property damage will top $2 billion.
Because of the lightning, play suspended.
And tradition's at risk, too, with the weekend tennis finals at Wimbledon threatened if the skies don't clear. Richard Roth, CBS News, London.
Back here at home, former White House aide Scooter Libby may not be going to prison, but today he paid a price for his role in that CIA leak case. Here is the check, or at least a copy of it, $250,000 for perjury and obstruction of justice. The extra $400 was for routine court fees. Earlier this week, President Bush commuted Libby's 2.5-year prison sentence. There is much more CBS News ahead. Coming up later, it's as easy and painless as brushing your teeth, how you can be on the bone marrow registry and possibly save a life. But next, after years of falling short in recruiting, the National Guard seems to have turned it around, and it's only costing $2,000 a head. Now to the continuing debate over Iraq. Today, Pete Domenici of New Mexico became the latest Republican senator to call for pulling U.S. troops out of Iraq. He wants that pullout to begin next spring. Meanwhile, the war in Iraq is apparently no longer keeping people from joining the National Guard. In fact, the Guard is at its highest levels in years. Officials credit new approaches to recruitment that include cash incentives. From the Pentagon, here's David Martin.
So I can do your
18-year-old Manuel Caceres signed up for the Army National Guard today.
Go ahead and sign, put your social and put the date.
He's part of a dramatic turnaround in what had been a losing battle to fill the ranks. With the National Guard serving and dying on the front lines in Iraq, those ranks had fallen to a new low by the summer of 2005.
We had to take some different actions because what we were doing was not working.
So Colonel Mike Jones, the Guard's head recruiter, now pays members of the Guard $2,000 for every recruit they can deliver to basic training.
That absolutely turned the corner. We've had over 35,000 people brought into the National Guard in the last 19 months as a result of the Recruiting Assistance Program.
Tabitha White is a private in the Guard and now a part-time recruiter. She'll get $1,000 for bringing Caceres in, another $1,000 when he reports to boot camp. For her, it's easy money.
You can just walk in the store and you just stop somebody, you just tell them about the program. Very simple.
Hey buddy, how you doing?
The Guard has also nearly doubled the number of full-time recruiters to 5,000 and increased the enlistment bonus from $10,000 to $20,000. Surprisingly, its ads emphasize the risks as much as the rewards.
We know the sacrifices, we know the consequences. We don't have a safe job, and we're all willing to accept that.
We're very candid that in serving in the National Guard today is sometimes a dangerous business.
And that message is selling?
Believe it or not, that message is selling.
And it will have to keep selling because the Guard plans to add another 7,000 soldiers in the coming months. David Martin, CBS News, The Pentagon.
More now on that bloody confrontation in Pakistan. At least 19 people have died this week in clashes between troops and hundreds of armed radical Islamic students holed up in a mosque. A cleric in the mosque said tonight that he and the holdout students who have been defying the government are willing to surrender under certain conditions. The head of the mosque tried to escape last night, but was caught wearing a woman's burqa. When we come back, enlisting your help in saving a life. It's gotten simpler and less painful. How you can become a bone marrow donor next. Every year, 35,000 Americans are diagnosed with diseases like leukemia that could be cured with a bone marrow transplant. But only 1 in 5 are able to get that transplant because the majority of people cannot find a match. 3 million white Americans are now on the National Registry for donors, but the number of Hispanic Americans on the list is under 600,000. Even fewer African Americans and Asian Americans have signed up. That's why the National Marrow Donor Program is urgently seeking new donors, especially in minority communities. More now in tonight's Eye on Your Health. 5-year-old Isaiah Garay of Phoenix, Arizona was diagnosed with leukemia last fall. Doctors say a bone marrow transplant is his only hope for a cure.
Our biggest dream is that if this goes forward and he does find a donor, that he would be well.
You want to make a rainbow?
Isaiah's parents and sister were tested to be donors, but weren't a match. Only 30% of patients who need bone marrow transplants find a match within their families. Adam William and Connie Garay, Isaiah's parents, are holding bone marrow drives in their community in order to increase their son's chances of finding a donor.
It's something that's really going to help other kids, not just Isaiah, but my other children too as well.
Because he's Hispanic, Isaiah's quest is more challenging. All minorities have a more diverse genetic profile, so a higher number of potential donors are needed to increase the chances of finding a match.
Our life mission right now is to get people educated.
For African Americans, it's even more difficult.
How you doing, Keisha?
21-year-old Keisha Worthington of Chicago is hoping a donor will be found to help her beat leukemia.
I need to announce to more African Americans and other minorities that they need to get out there and donate.
This is your donor ID registration card.
Over the past year, signing up to be a potential donor has become much easier. Rather than having your blood drawn, a simple cheek swab can put you on the list.
Thanks for being here.
Potential donors gathered at a recent bone marrow drive at the Police Academy in New York City. About 10,000 police officers and firefighters around the country join the registry every year. Like this?
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Okay. Just want to make sure you get plenty of those cells. Donors used to go under general anesthesia so a doctor could use a small needle to extract bone marrow from the hip. Now, most collections of life-saving stem cells are done through an almost painless technique similar to giving blood. How often is a match made?
Every single day through our program, we facilitate 10 transplants. And so this year we'll have 3,600 people who will find that gift of life, find that perfect match.
But what about those who don't?
And those are where we appeal for more people to join our registry, and that's where the real need is.
So this is for Keisha Worthington.
Luckily, Keisha defied the odds and found a donor.
I know it's a man, that's all I know. I just tell him thank you very much and that he probably just saved my life.
So far, so good. Keisha's doing well after her bone marrow transplant. But like Isaiah, 6,000 patients a day are still waiting for a match. Now that there are less invasive techniques for both testing and donating, experts hope more people will sign up and more lives will be saved. To learn how to join the registry and become a bone marrow donor, you can go to cbsnews.com and simply click on FYI. Now to a study that might just explode the stereotype that women are chattier than men. At the University of Arizona, they put microphones on about 400 students and counted how many words they use in the course of a day. The result? Well, women did win, but barely. Women averaged 6,215 words. Men? 15,669. But that 546 word difference, according to researchers, was not statistically significant. And I have nothing more to say. When we come back, special quilts made for wounded soldiers with love. Finally tonight, thousands of Americans wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan have received a simple gift that lets them know how much their country values their service and sacrifice. Something that's both comforting and heartwarming. Something our Kimberly Dozier knows about firsthand.
Left. Got it.
Arriving here is disorienting and surreal. Stranded halfway between your family from the battlefield and your family back home. That's where these come in. Week after week, reminders that the injured are neither forgotten nor alone.
You get your choice, pal.
Made with love and hope for your recovery by Ginger Ann. That's real nice.
Hopes and prayers stitched together by folks thousands of miles away.
There are people that have our backs.
Every single soldier, airman, Marine, or even injured civilian who passes through these halls gets a quilt. You could call it a 4-by-6-foot hug.
There you go.
They're sent from places like Franklin, Tennessee, about as far away as you can get from the battlefields of Iraq and Afghanistan.
Look who is here!
So I brought one of the quilts I was sent full circle to say thank you to the ladies who made it for me.
It's good to see you up and around.
Thank you very much. I was still learning to walk when this arrived.
Hundreds of groups like theirs all over the world have sent thousands of quilts to soldiers in need.
Let me tell you, from anyone who's gotten one of your quilts, it means a lot.
Whether you believe in the war or not, our troops are there, and we're Americans, and we believe in these people who are making sacrifices, and not only our soldiers but their families, and this is the one thing that we can do.
Some 250 quilts began their journey right here.
Now walk me through the process. How do these stacks become quilts?
These are all scraps that have been donated to us, and we sew them together just by piece and step by step.
Every woman here knows someone touched by war.
To see these guys on television wounded, I want them to know that somebody cares.
For those who sew or knit them, every quilt, afghan, and blanket is a way of binding the injured troops to a family they never knew they had.
For one who's been through it, I can tell you it's something you never forget. Kimberly Dozier, CBS News, Franklin, Tennessee.
And that's the CBS Evening News for tonight. I'm Katie Couric. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again tomorrow. Good night.
CBS News. Experience you can trust.